Hello and welcome to Start the Beat with Sykes. My name is Sykes and this is my podcast. Before we get started, I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank everyone who checked out the last episode. If you're one of those people, I hope you enjoyed the conversation and thanks so much for coming back. But for everyone out there who's new to the show, welcome. Feel free to make yourselves at home. And as always, there's beer, soda, water, coffee in the fridge. Cheers to everyone out there on the internet. Yeah. I think that it really goes back to, a comment that I made a little bit earlier. That's just like, if you really want to do something, you'll find a way to do it. Right. I can't tell you how many times I've had people come up to me like, yo, I want to record music. Word. Okay. Yeah. You got a computer? No. Okay. I mean, you can get a decent computer to record music for under $1,000. If you want to get something nicer, you can get something nicer. But it's like, okay, what do you got to do? You got a job? Yeah. Can you save up a little bit of money? Like, I don't know if I could do that. I don't get enough hours. Can you get some extra hours? Can you get a second job? Like, I don't know if I can do that. It's like, if you can't get a second part-time job, how do you expect to make being a musician your career? Right. This ain't as easy as you think it is. You're right. It's still work. Right. If you don't got the work ethic, if you don't have the drive to, pick up an extra shift somewhere to save up $1,000, a paycheck or two, whatever it is, and get that computer to get started. Yeah. How far do you really think this is going to go? Not too far at all. Not too far at all. When did you decide to start going like super hard with the music? When I because I mean, it's one thing. I'm sure that you've been writing and producing and doing all these things for a long time, but there's that moment, that clicks in us where it's like, no, this is what I'm gonna do this. It changes, right? It goes from being a hobby to I'm gonna you start talking crazy stuff. You start I'm gonna get a CDL so I can drive my tour bus, that kind of crazy stuff, right? Yeah. How long have you been in this on that level of motivation? So as of right now, it's I had 3 phases of that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because as an artist, you start to doubt yourself in a lot of different ways. You know what I mean? We talked about that already. They say hoping you make good music and stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I say I've been making music since what we thinking, Marcus? 2014? That's when I first got in the studio. And okay. The first person I got in the studio with is my homie Marcus right here. Mr. I Learned Everything. Yeah. Shout outs to Marcus off camera. Yeah, my boy Marcus. So once we did that, I started recording, and I'm just trying to catch it myself. You know what I mean? I just kind of just broke up in a relationship and all that. Okay. I ended up going to jail and all that. Okay. During that time, I mean, I don't want to be no like everybody else, the jail story. You know what I mean? Jail made me want to come out, be right. That wasn't it. Okay. That was the end of phase 1 is what we're talking about. That was more the realization that I could lose all my time right now and it'd be over. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because they was trying to give me 30 years. You know what I mean? So I realized... That's a whole lot of rapping. Yeah, that's a whole lot of... They trying to give me 30 years. So that was the first time I was like, you know what? I want to do this and solidify myself because everybody made me feel like I couldn't. You know what I mean? And except for my team. My team made sure yo, you really good for it. You should keep going. Da-da-da. But I felt like nobody would really understand what I would be talking about. You know what I mean? And that was the first phase of me being I'm gonna just try it. I'm gonna try it and see what people like. And once I record with Marcus, we started recording and he started liking hey man, you pretty good. And then I started realizing my whole team started liking everything we do. You know what I mean? And different people that came in, and eventually we started moving different studios, different engineers we like this is different. Da-da-da. Yeah. And I had to get to a point with my music to realize at that point I was like, damn, I don't feel like I'm saying nothing yet. You know what I mean? Yeah, totally. Because I was finding my sound, I pretty much sound like other people in a way, and I ain't really like it too much. But that's how you do. It's a process. You got to grow. Mm-hmm. I think that one of the things that I like to bring up with people when they talk about oh, it took so long for something to happen. It's you realize that Billie Eilish and her brother were recording music in their bedroom since she was 10. It's nuts. It's they spent 6, 7, 8 years behind the scenes before anybody even knew who they were. Dang. And people think oh, this just came out of nowhere. Yeah. No. Yeah. They were working on stuff
going through the growing pains that everybody else does.
Right.
They just started a lot younger than some other people. That's really it. It didn't come out of nowhere.
Yeah, you're right.
And it takes that time. Yeah. I think sometimes it's a little bit harder. Like if you do get started a little bit older for whatever reason, like, and you see younger kids that are like coming up and they get like, they surpass you in different ways, like a Billie Eilish or something like that. But it's like, we have the same amount of years in. We're just coming from different places.
Right. You're right.
You know?
You're right.
So with you and, you know, these phases that you went through, I think that the one thing outside of finding your voice as an artist, as I think that just all of that external struggle, you know, the positives and the negatives of that life, your experiences outside of making music have like probably helped form that like backbone that you need to really do this now. Right.
I like you, man. I like you. You good as host. You really be breaking them down, huh? I really felt that. That's a fact. It's the truth, though. It's the truth.
And I think too, sometimes that's the other thing too, is like when a lot of people want to do music, but they have nothing to say. It's like, well, what's your life been like? Right. I don't know. Don't do nothing. Okay. Well, what do you expect to happen here? Like, I understand that passion to want to be able to like write music and create music, but if you're not willing to work for it, and if you don't have nothing to talk about, like, what do you really want? And why should anybody give a fuck?
And that's where it went to. That's stage 2. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And that's crazy. You brought it right back because that's where it was. That's how I said, like, I was listening to my music and it's like, nah, this ain't good enough. Even though people liked it, I just felt like it wasn't good enough. That's when I started working on my first project called Disturbia. And I just started reflecting with everything more in my life instead of just trying to make like lit songs and shit.
Yeah.
I started reflecting more on myself and coming more realization of who I actually am. You know what I mean? So I started baselining my mind and my heart off of what my family sees. You know what I mean? And what my family go through. So that was that second step where I was like, you know what? I got to do this. I got kids to feed. I got family. My mom need to get right. Everybody need to get right. I can't be on the block no more. Like a lot of things like that. I was just tired of it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I kept my life legit from there. I just start getting the music going more heavier. I started connecting with Brian Schuster. He's another cameraman that we've been dealing with for a while. That's homie Marcus is a good friend. And we started working with him, getting different tracks, and I started seeing the video side of things and creating that image of what my project's supposed to be like. Yeah. And we ended up coming out with the That Time track. That's one of my first videos ever. It was a crazy production on it. We had everything on there, lights, cameras. Straight up looked like we had an super industry track and video before, you know what I mean? Before I even got anywhere, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the people seen that and they was gravitated to it because it wasn't no ordinary video. It wasn't no ordinary artist just coming out, dropping a video of me at the corner store, dancing and flying.
Yeah.
No, I had everything. I had my leather jacket, the Joe Rocket jacket, you know what I mean? Customized. I had the shorties. I had the shorty on the couch with me. We vibing, you know what I mean? We in the bed vibing, we and all that, you know what I mean? I had everything. We made sure the whole scene was, had my team in it, had the cars in it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we had our studio in it because we had a 3-floor office building in Washington, PA, with a photo studio, recording studio, art gallery, music showcase. We had everything in there. You know
That's
what I mean?
Awesome.
And we ended up having to shut it down because the store next door, the building next door collapsed. The insurance raised up. Yeah. A lot of people know the insurance raised up. So my insurance came and they wanted to put an extra $800 on top of my insurance if I'm already paying $200.
If there's,
$2,000 a month for a property, you know what I mean?
If there's ever anything that is a culprit for your music community dying, 9 times out of 10, it's insurance. I swear. Right. Because like I've worked in venues where it's like, you know, people are like, oh, why'd that place close? And it's like, you don't understand. Like people, like a lot of insurance companies go nuts over like, because they know that they can like milk you because it's like, oh, like you're having events here. There's people in here. How many people are you fitting in here? Is it to the fire code? All this.
And that's where it started coming in.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
So we had to get the whole roof redone in order for us to bring our insurance down. And I'm only renting. My landlord ain't trying to do that.
Yeah. I get it.
The property owner is not trying to do that for that venue. So I ended up leaving. You know what I mean?
It kills places.
That's where stage 3 came in. let's focus on this music.
All right. Yeah.
And we went hard from there. That's where it went.
Yeah.
Because nothing stopped. We just took the show on the road. You know what I mean?
So I mean, it's, you know, you've been in that position where, you know, you've had hopes and dreams, and, you know, they've been taken from you, and then it happens again, taken again, and you know, it's like, you know, I there's a good chance it, you know, in some way it's gonna happen again, and then you'll bounce back, and that's like it's a never ending process of that. But I think, you know, the more that it happens, the more you learn how to navigate. It seems like it never got you down. You find ways to get back up and to continue moving and do what you got to do.
That's the one thing people is attracted to, though. That's my selling point. You know what I mean? Don't nothing stop. You know what I mean? Yeah. We don't stop nothing. We going harder and harder every time. You hear us, we coming back 1,000 times stronger. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think life is like way too short to let bullshit really just get in the way, or to let bullshit stop you from doing what you want to do with your time. I think that, you know, it's so easy to get caught in this dumb rat race of, you know, a 9-to-5 or a part-time job or whatever. And like, I get it, for a lot of people, it ain't an option, you know, but I know there are a lot of people out there that do have the talent and the drive that want to do more with themselves. And they just need that little push, that little leap of faith to really do things and help contribute more art and cool things to the world. That's going to not only be great for fans and people that like music or art or movies or TV shows, whatever, right? All that creative stuff, but it's going to be better for them and the people that are around them. But on the flip of that, there's a part that's kind of like survival of the fittest, I guess. Like, if you're not going to make that move, I guess I'll make that move too. Right. So it's like, you know, I find myself sometimes like, how much empathy should I have for people that don't have the drive?
None at all, man. None at all, man. Because you only gonna hurt yourself. Yeah. You know what I mean? You only could take somebody as far as they can go. Yeah. That's where you at with it. You know what I mean? If you keep worried about trying to make sure everybody get to shows, make sure everybody get to these venues, everybody get to the studio on time, everybody, it's going to drain you, man. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And that's the hard thing about people that are like people that are promoters, or people that run a label, or people that are like at the top, that are trying to like get a community of artists together, because it only takes one fucking sour apple to spoil the bunch, right?
That is true.
And environment is everything. I mean, you mentioned before, you know, just having a team of people around you that got your back, that are very supportive of what you do. And that is crucial. Yeah. Sometimes like that environment, having that steady environment is like the only thing that's going to keep you up. Because, you know, as positive as it seems like you are about everything now, there's going to be those times where you're like, what the fuck am I doing? What is happening? But you need those people around you.
Right.
It's everything.
You're right.